Hello everyone, it's me, Alex Axe, also known as Alex Wells, and today is Wednesday, November 22nd, so yay, hump day! Though, hump day kind of has doesn't quite mean the same thing when it's, a holiday week as it is in America, and most everyone who isn't going to get screwed by their job isn't going to have to work for, the next 4 days. I mean, that's how it is in construction, because cities are like, no, you're not working this whole weekend. My condolences to everyone in retail and, hospitality and all that, where you do have to work. Hopefully you'll get to spend some time with your family, and hopefully it's family that you want to spend time with, because we kind of know how that goes. I'm going to be heading to the airport. Well, basically, it's like 1:20 right now, so if it was hump day, we'd be officially over the hump because it's the afternoon. And I'm leaving work in about 40 minutes, and then it'll be however long it takes me to go to the office and drop my gauge off, because for some reason I don't want to leave a nuclear gauge sitting in the parking lot of my townhome complex over a 4-day weekend. Technically 6 days, because I'm taking a couple more days to spend with my parents. So I have to drop that off down at the office to keep myself and the federal regulators happy. And then as soon as that's done, I'm going home, and my housemate is giving me a ride to the airport. And I'm actually super nervous because every other time I've flown around, proximal to this holiday, I've normally either gone on a Tuesday or the Tuesday before, or flown out really super early Thursday morning, which the airport is always dead and the flights are pretty empty, and that's kind of nice. It's just there was no convenient timing for that this year, and I think my mom's kind of tired of me swooping in at an inconvenient time Thursday morning. So she was like, no, just fly in Wednesday. And I've heard so many horror stories about trying to get through the airport today, the day before Thanksgiving, that I'm just feeling really anxious about it. And normally I've flown so much, I'm normally cool as a cucumber and I just don't give a shit. And if I get there, I get there, whatever. But today it's no, I'm gonna get there, hopefully I'll be leaving around my house around 3, so I'm gonna hopefully get to the airport 4 hours early and attempt to maintain my calm. And I think it also doesn't help that I've seen, there's quite a few comedic movies that have some relation to someone trying to get through the airport on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and it just never goes well. Notably, I'm thinking about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and I'm just kind of stressing about it. So I've already gotten some advice, just get there really early and maintain your calm, because no one is happy to be there and everyone's stressing out because they're feeling a time crunch and all that. And just be nice to the employees, which I try to do anyway, because I'm not going to be an asshole to someone who's just trying to do their job. So that's kind of what's mostly on my mind, and hopefully everyone will have a good holiday. And I mean, I'm gonna try to keep vlogging probably. I don't know if I will tomorrow, anyone's gonna look at it anyway, but let's see. The other thing on my mind is I actually ate at McDonald's today because the site has been so busy. I didn't really have time to it was if I went home for lunch I have been, because this site is really close to my house, and took my hour-long lunch that I'm supposed to have, by the time I got back, I'd only be on site for maybe half an hour, and then I'd leave again, and that just didn't seem useful. So I just ran to the nearby McDonald's, and I had their artisanal grilled chicken sandwich, and it's not good. I mean, I know it's very stylish to make fun of McDonald's because in many ways their food is really not good, but I actually really like the little double cheeseburger meal thing, where you get the 2 little cheeseburgers, because, I don't know, good childhood memories, something. I love their fries, but this sandwich was just, don't do it. It wasn't good. It's weirdly, they attempted to have a flavor, and it's just weird. So that's my review. And then I guess the other thing I'll mention is that I've gotten a couple of reviews back so far on Blood Binds the Pack, which Thank you, KJ and Elise. I'm so glad that you liked the book. Oh my god, it's like so amazing when other writers that you super respect like what you do. It's just like, you know, you just spend some time sort of internally or externally running in circles and screaming out loud, and it's really great. But I was also kind of joking. It's like this, you know, and also with the feedback that I got from my editor, it's like this consistent feedback that like, oh my god, with this second book, you just like leveled up as a writer and it's so much better than the first one, which, you know, yay. But now I'm having like, you know, my existential writer crisis, because what is being a writer without having an existential writer crisis at all times, where I'm like, oh my god, everyone really likes this book. What if it's the best thing I ever write and everything else I write is not as good as that? And, you know, because that's how a writer's brain works. So, I mean, partially it's also because I'm, you know, still in the weeds on a rough draft and I hate everything. So, you know, that doesn't do your little writerly ego much good. But, I did want to say that writing a second book was a very different experience. Like, when I complete this rough draft and I'm on my last page of my outline for it, I will have written 8 first novels. And Blood Binds the Pack is the first second novel that I've ever written. And it was a really different experience. Like, it was scary because I already felt like Hunger Makes the Wolf was really good, and I was like, can I do better? And it was just really intimidating, and I was like, I have to go back to this place that, I mean, by the time Angry Robot bought Hunger Makes the Wolf for me, I also hadn't written in that universe for years, because that was how much time had elapsed, and so there was like the intimidation factor of like, oh god, can I get myself back into this headspace and make the characters sound like themselves? And, I mean, I basically, you know, I had like a year to write the novel, or it might have even been over a year, like, you know, you know, discounting like the Hunger Makes the Wolf at a time. And I spent so much time cat waxing, like, because I was just so afraid of starting the second book. And I mean, I think the only reason I got it done, you know, on before deadline, was that my agent kept gently going, so have you started it yet? You might want to start it. It's a whole book and you need to write it. And eventually I was like, oh god, you're right. Okay, well, if I start it by X day and I can write this many words a day, it'll be done by blah, because I underestimated how long it would be. But that's fine, because I still got it done, because I wrote a lot faster than I thought. And then, you know, I wrote my outline and I did it, because at that point I literally had no choice but to write the book, because I think, you know, the ninja robot assassins would have killed me if I'd been like, yeah, sorry, not gonna happen because I have just shit myself in terror and died. So it's like, it was super intimidating, and then it was like, well, I'm still absolutely scared out of my mind, but I don't have a choice but to do this. And then once I actually started writing it, it was fine, and I actually really loved writing that book. Even the second act, which, I mean, I liked it, but I hated it, but I hated it a lot less than I normally hate writing the second act of a book, if that makes sense. So that, therefore, it was good and fun. So that's just kind of, you know, if you are lucky enough that you get to the point where you do get to write a second book, you're gonna psych yourself out. Try not to psych yourself out, but realize that it's going to happen, and just keep an eye on the deadline, so that you know at what point you have to sit yourself down and have like the come to Jesus talk, where you're like, well, we owe the publisher a book, and so therefore we have to do this no matter how scared we are. I am now speaking the royal we, apparently. So I was just thinking about that, because people were talking about like second novels on Twitter, and it's just like a whole going from a first novel to a second novel, and then maybe even a third. It's just like, it feels really different, and it's very rewarding, but especially when you're starting out, it's really intimidating. So if you find it really intimidating, know that you're not alone. But hopefully, if you know, you'll get a chance to find out what it's like, because it's pretty cool. So that's what's on my mind. Everyone have a great Wednesday, and if you're doing holidays, happy holidays, and I will talk to you later. I have been Alex Axe, and if you enjoyed me rambling, please do the like thing and share it and subscribe. See, I'm remembering to do that now. I'm super proud of myself. Bye!